lovers, it's G here, and I'm here today with my Fairyloot July monthly subscription service unboxing. So this monthly unboxing video actually initially was not meant to only be exclusively Fairyloot. Half of my monthly subscriptions are not making this video. Two of them being from one of my favorite subscription services ever, Bookish and Spice. Both their book boxes I subscribe to for this period are gonna be late, so there's that. I'm already filming this on the 5th of August, by the way. Like, I only received my Fairyloot Romantasy yesterday. This is the soonest I could film it if I wanted to get all my Fairyloots in. And I will not be promoting my Illumicrate July on this channel. I will not be promoting any sort of fan fiction from this fandom going forward. I didn't actually realize that this was fan fiction or that fandom. It doesn't sit right with me because I know where I stand on the topic of JK. I support the right for any and everyone to exist, and that is inclusive of trans people. And this is just me personally. I'm not going to police how everybody presents things on their channels or what they'll read, but essentially I do not want to promote anything that has to do with the wizarding world. So that is that. I've gotten that out of the way. If you don't like it, please leave my channel. I'm fine if you do that. And I know that that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but that's where I personally stand, and that's that. But anyway, so I'm left with my 3 Fairyloots. I know the design for one of them already. Of course I do. Of course I do, ahead of time, because it leaked over Reddit. Initially what happened was, essentially my curiosity got the better of me. Someone had posted on a Facebook group saying, hey, does anyone want to buy my Fairyloot Romantasy? The design is not my cup of tea. And then everyone's like, where's the design? They're like, it's on Reddit. And of course I went. Of course I went. I just wanted to prepare myself for disappointment. But I'm going to start off with my young adult Fairyloot, and then we are going to proceed from there. Before I do that, I need some balm. And before we proceed with this video today, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. According to my YouTube analytics, majority of you guys who watch my channel on a regular basis aren't subscribed. So if you want to help a girl out, please make sure to hit that button. Additional ways to help me out, please like this video and follow author Gianna Jones on TikTok and Instagram for more bookish content. I deeply appreciate all the support that I've been given so far, but yeah, those are just some additional ways to support me if you want to. Anyway, without further ado, let's proceed with the video. Okay, Fairyloot. All of them are Fairyloot. What am I saying? Young adult Fairyloot. Let's go. Wow, that's jammed. That's jammed packed. Ooh, there we go. Oh, my spoiler card is bent. Why did they give us print albums to put these spoiler cards in for them to just bend them? I do feel like the spoiler card could have been under here, but oh well. Oh well. Okay, so the theme for the month is rule them all, and I definitely do want to give a shout out to this spoiler card specifically because it's so pretty. Like, this is gorgeous art. I'm gonna take this filler out, and the first thing I see is something that I know Camillo would love because he really loves Lord of the Rings. Now with me, I'm not saying that I don't love Lord of the Rings. I am saying that I actually have not watched the full trilogy, but at a young age, look, I wanted to watch cartoons at the time, but my parents forced me to watch the 3rd movie. And that did not feel like a fun experience. And so now all I think of when I think about The Lord of the Rings is being forced to watch the 3rd movie and the 3rd movie only when I wanted to watch cartoons. I am almost 30 as I'm filming this video. I actually do need to watch the entirety of The Lord of the Rings, but in my early 20s, I really refused. Like, when this is so funny. When Camillo and I were only just starting to date, he's like, we need to watch The Lord of the Rings together. And I was like to him, no, you won't force me to watch it like my parents did. And now I think enough time has passed. I don't feel that way anymore. I actually do want to watch it. And I think it's quite essential for someone who considers themselves to be a fantasy author of some sort to actually watch it eventually. Anyway, we've got a Tumblr. See, I love Tumblrs though. I really do. I feel like I need to earn this Tumblr. Okay. If anything, I read the entirety of The Hobbit like a couple of years ago. I've started at the beginning to some capacity, and I've also watched the end. But, you know, enough time has passed for me to forget what actually happened. Although I don't necessarily forget the spiders. I am gonna peel, ooh. that sexy pill sound we got there. And then we got a straw. Ooh, that one, okay. This straw isn't too, like, how do I say it? It's not too loose. It's actually pretty tightly in there. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about that before it becomes an innuendo. But essentially, that's great for avoiding spillage. Now, this is so pretty. I've got a few tumblers at my house. I use one of the Bookish Box ones for my office space in the city, and then I use the other one here. I've actually been using the Babe Stanley Cup imitation, using that a lot more. And oh, I bought a bunch of sparkly tumblers from like Kmart or Target on clearance for like $2. I have 3 of those. I tell myself, yes, I'm gonna use those when I want to feel bougie. I have not used those at all, and they're just still sitting there. Anyway, I need to show you guys this. This has got to be the prettiest tumbler that I have. It's absolutely stunning. Oh, this is gorgeous. And the next thing I take out of this box, I'm usually not a big fan of these toiletry bags, but I do have to say that this design definitely does look better than one of the previous designs I received. I think I received an Ember in the Ashes one, and I just didn't really like the brown, but I love this purple. No way! It's a Hurricane Wars inspired! I love the Hurricane Wars. If you guys don't know, I adore the Hurricane Wars. Like, one of my favorite books ever. I still have not yet read the sequel, and I really do need to read the sequel. Oh, check that out. Okay, so, oh, it hangs too. This is perfect. Oh my goodness, this is definitely making my Melbourne rare trip with me. Sorry, I've never gotten excited over toiletry bag, and it shows. This one is coming with me to my rare trip. And it's even more special because it's based on a book that I absolutely adore. The next thing I see in this box seems to be a memo pad. It's funny because these items would have been absolutely useless to me years ago. I would see these items as useless. I'm like, no, I don't need more stationary items. Like, I like the tumblers and I don't need toiletry bags, but the older I get, the more of these I need. I used to have a very good memory, by the way, and these days I really do need to write things down, so I'm gonna write things down. And this memo pad is based on The Rose Bargain, which was a book pick of the month at the very beginning of the year. Oh, this is everything. Like, I'm gonna turn down my brightness actually so that you guys can see that. Matchy nails, matchy nails. And then the memos. This is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Sometimes I have to write affirmations down at my desk, and sometimes I just need to remember something, but for either purpose, it is amazing. I'm definitely taking this to the office with me because I am totally gonna need it. This is so cute. Definitely one of the best items I've received in one of these boxes. I used to not like these as much. As I mentioned, like, I didn't have use for them. But now, these days, I use the Fairyloot stationery like there's no tomorrow. Honestly, some of the best stuff for what I do. Any other items? We do have some overlays, and we do have the bookmark and the tarot cards in here. Oh, for the first time, this is actually bubble wrapped. Interesting. This bookmark is here. It usually comes in the Fairyloot bag that the book comes in. There are some overlays. I feel like I need to show the tarot cards first before I show the overlays. So we have the High Priestess and the Emperor. And those are cute. Did we start a new tarot set? Because this design just doesn't add up. We did start a new tarot set. I actually told myself once this tarot set is finished, like this one, I would consider unsubscribing, actually. So, interesting stuff, good to know. I thought that that was gonna happen in October 2025 based on my calculations for how long a tarot set would go. But yeah, I guess not. And then we come to the book pick of the month, which seems to be teased here actually for the very first time through bubble wrap. And I am a little nervous because I love the original cover of this book so bad. It is the Nightblood Prince by Molly X Chang. Okay, this actually looks so much better without the bubble wraps. Oh, okay, I do feel better about this. Look at that design. So gorgeous. So gorgeous. Oh, I love that foiling. And check out those pages. Yeah, the pages are pretty cool. Usually, I'm not a big fan of like copying and pasting, but I reckon that it does work for this one. Oh, I jumped into that too quickly because I wanted to show the overlays. Lord bless this mess. Okay, so we've got them doing their thing there, them doing their thing there too. Them and the mountains doing their thing. Oh, I need to get more creative with this. And them presumably going up a mountain doing their thing. Oh, it's giving some very good winter aesthetics, and as someone who is living in a winter time here in the southern hemisphere, I don't know, I just feel like it suits. Now back to the book. Sorry, I was absolutely thrown off by the tarot cards because I'm like, wait a second. Monthly tarot set from the other boxes that I started collecting from the very beginning, like that's finished. I do have around 4 sets of 2 cards that I do need to probably try to buy off of somewhere. I was going to buy them from the Fairyloot website, but I'm waiting for Fairyloot to restock so that I can proceed to do that and then finish the tarot set that I had, because I think that having a complete tarot set is key. This is so pretty. We've got some gorgeous end page art. Oh, I love this so much. Now I feel like, okay, let's ignore the beautiful hardback for a second. I just love the original cover so much, and I am sad that it's not foiled. This is the original cover of The Night Blood Prince. It is, I believe, illustrated by After Blossom Art, who is one of my favorite illustrators. I have Deathless on the ground right now, like right next to me. I have a few books on the ground. I really need to like sort out their placement in here. When it comes to their illustrations, they're some of the best. I am a little sad that that is not the main cover, and I kind of would have loved to see the colorway change with foiling. Unfortunately, Fairyloot does not foil their reverse dust jackets. I hope that one day they will, because honestly, such a great opportunity. And then we've got a gorgeous spread there. Now this is everything to me. Now this definitely makes it worth it. Like, I don't even need the dust jacket. I could just display it like this. I think overall this YA box was absolutely incredible. I am blown away by it. I do have bittersweet feelings about the main dust jacket, only because I love the original cover. But still, the main dust jacket is still absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to read this book because I've heard amazing things about it, and I cannot wait to use these items. I will be using every single one of these items. And that's saying something. And that does make me feel bittersweet about the possibility of unsubscribing to Young Adult Fairyloot. And look, it's not necessarily because I don't love the items. It's just, firstly, I'm reading less young adult fiction as I'm going along. In fact, I've been reading less books this year because I've been writing more this year. I've been focusing much more on my own storytelling. But also, that's part of the reason. I need to look at ways of reducing the amount of subscriptions I have to eventually start saving up for my author fund. I do have to do an audit of everything that I am spending on every month. And so, yeah, unfortunately, this box I am considering unsubscribing to, and it does make me feel bittersweet. I initially had the plan to start looking at this during October time when I thought that the tarot set was done, but now I'm seeing a new tarot set being made, and that just makes me think, okay, well, that means that I have to start looking at that very soon. That I only skipped last month's box because I had so many rare pre-orders, and like these next few months are gonna be a little bit tight anyway because, oh sorry, Babe pre-orders last time. Spending is gonna be a little tight because I've got Rare coming up, but after that point, that's when I'm planning to do a massive audit, because I'm getting very serious about the idea of eventually, who knows, self-publishing. But I'm getting very serious about becoming an author. Well, I am an author, but like publishing eventually. So that is why I need to start looking at these expenses. Overall though, I am very happy with the items that I have received that are very practical to me. And these very beautiful books. I couldn't be happier, honestly. Sorry, I'm consistently looking at the time because I am actually going into office today. All right, so I'm actually going to be moving on to my Fairyloot Romantasy. I love Romantasy. Romantasy has got to be one of my favorite subgenres of fantasy and romance. And I have been looking forward to this book because this book actually comes from a favorite author. One of my most read authors of all time. I've read at least 14 books from this author, and this aesthetic looks very different from anything that I own from this author. I think what I love about this author's books specifically, well, like in terms of design, is the fact that they're not afraid to show some character art on the cover. For once, I do wish that I was like subscribed to Owlcrate. I'm not saying that I don't love Owlcrate. It's just Owlcrate tends to be the same price as a standard Illumicrate for their book boxes, and Fairyloot are cheaper. After seeing their design for this book, I had high hopes for Fairyloots. And I like the original design of the book as well. But let's just say this design, it's not bad, but it doesn't seem like a glow up from the original. Fateful Bonds is the theme for the month. It's actually a very chunky book. Let us give you a little teaser there. Oh wow, this is actually very tight. I've got to be extremely careful with how I remove this book from the bag. And the Fairyloot Romantasy book pick of the month for July is Aana Academy. Aana Academy? I don't know how to pronounce this word. I don't know if it's pronounced Akana because there's no E at the end, or if it is indeed pronounced Arcana. Now, I personally feel more comfortable with saying Arcana, but that is just me. It might be Arcana. I have to get used to that. Now, this design isn't bad. It definitely gives Dark Academia, which I think it might be, considering that, you know, Academy. It is a pretty design. However, I don't think it's a glow up from the original. I do like the original cover. I'm not crazy about the original cover, but I just wanted to see something different after seeing the beautiful Illumicrate design, which appears to have been designed by one of my favorite illustrators. I think that's why I have a bias towards that one, and that's why I did expect something more. However, I do like how the silver foil stands out on this dust jacket. I do love the spine. I think I like the spine of this book more than I like the pages. Like, the pages here look very cool. We've got some tarots. I believe that Arcana/Arcana I don't know, has something to do with tarot. I mean, I should probably know by now because I did have to look at, like, you know, the general Arcana card quantity in order to map out just how long I would need to be subscribed to Fairyloot YA in order to get the entire set. This, why? I feel like the pressure is on at the moment to try to get this done on time, and that's why I'm freezing up a lot. This art is stunning. I think that these illustrations could have been used for the main cover. I mean, maybe something like this for the main cover. I think that emphasis on what the Academy looks like, just like the manor vibe, I don't know. At the moment, I am currently writing a gothic romance, and I am just heavily feeling these vast gothic manors, like, right now. That's my everything. At the moment, I am very much feeling that aesthetic, and I think that is why I do like the Owlcrate design better, but that is okay. And I think that's also why I really love the spine as well. And then we've got a foiled naked hardback that is actually foiled on both sides. Here it says, "Your future is your tuition." And then we've got what looks like the original cover in a changed colorway slightly, and I do like this original cover. Once more, I think that just having that aesthetic is pretty cool. I don't love this Fairyloot design as much, unfortunately, but that's okay. You know, I think that it still looks very pretty. It kind of gives me Babel vibes, which is not terrible. Like, I do love, no, don't get me wrong. I love the Babel book designs, like, they're gorgeous, but it just doesn't give me Elise Kova vibes, and that's where I'm struggling a little bit. I'm like, oh, this feels very different for Elise Kova, but I mean, who knows? Maybe Elise Kova wrote a completely different kind of Elise Kova book here. And then we've got some more art, and it looks very pretty. Look, I am somewhat underwhelmed, and I have had some time to process that. However, seeing it in person, I do appreciate the fact that I have it. I mean, it's an Elise Kova book. Either way, I know that I am going to love it, I'm going to enjoy it, because I really vibe with Elise Kova's writing style. And this, I believe, might be the longest book that I own by Elise Kova. It's either that or maybe Alchemists of Loom, like one of those books. But yeah, this is 554 pages. I am excited to read this. It is not my favorite design that I've seen from the Romantasy subscription service. It doesn't really feel like Romantasy. This definitely feels like a design that belongs to the adult subscription service. However, I'm still excited to read it. I'm still happy that I have it. And last but certainly not least, we have the Adult Fantasy Fairyloot subscription. Now, I love the original design for this cover. In fact, I initially actually renewed in the hopes that maybe the original cover was gonna be used to some capacity, or at least the aesthetics would be somewhat replicated. So I'm going into this one not sure. I at least honestly hope that it impresses more than the last book that I just unboxed. So we will see. Sometimes adult Fairyloot ends up taking the cake. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like adult fantasy Fairyloot has been killing it for the most part. I really hope they kill it here. Dancing with Danger is the theme for the month. And you know what's funny? The other two books I feel like were anticipated releases. This book, however, I did not hear about until I saw that this was going to be a book pick for the month. And then I started seeing all the marketing and advertisement for it from the publisher, and I've just been more and more excited the more I see it. I am at least happy that Fairyloot introduced me to the idea of this book. Okay, so we don't really have much of a teaser there. We've got a block sprayed edge. Oh, I'm seeing some. Now this is the color I want to see today. I love green and pink like that. Oh, they might have used the original cover. The Fairyloot adult fantasy book pick of the month for July is... oh my goodness, that is so much prettier than I could have ever imagined. Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. Okay, not only this green color, the foiling, the cracks. Oh my god. I have no words. And the pages look so good too. Sometimes I'm left thinking, why Fairyloot? Why? And then other times, I'm left thinking, yes, Fairyloot, yes! And this is a yes, Fairyloot, yes moment! This has got to be one of the prettiest covers Fairyloot have done. I think this is the original cover, but it changed colorway, and I love the original colorway, but I like this one better. Like, I actually do. And it's like, I love blue. I adore blue, but I also love this green, and I love these pinks, and I'm so passionate about this, my goodness. Okay, look, we got the text version here. We got like the non-text version here, and I feel so happy to even show this part off. Like, this is one of my favorite aesthetics. I personally love stained glass aesthetics. Oh, it's just, oh, it's so pretty. Okay. Stop! Just when I thought that the dust jacket was enough. Are you seeing that foiling? This is some great serotonin to start my day off. This naked hardback looks pretty. I do prefer the dust jacket, but that is okay. Like, that's how it should be. I do love naked hardback designs, but I don't always want to think to myself, maybe I just take the dust jacket off and everything will be better. No, that is not what I want to do. So we got the spine saying the name of the book. No, don't damage it, don't damage it. And then we've got the reverse dust jacket, which is beautiful. Now this is what I want to see. Sometimes there are just covers that don't need to be fixed. They don't. Sometimes, you know, like a change colorway is good, but it really depends on how you do the colorway. This is the perfect example of, like, if it is not broken, don't fix it. Oh, I thought I loved the first one and I thought that it could not be topped, but these colors are everything. I feel like a tear is gonna come out of me. This is so beautiful. This almost brings me to tears at how beautiful it is. Now, I personally don't know if this is a standalone or the first book in the series. If it is a standalone, then I will include it in my best special editions of the year. If it is part of a series, then I'll wait for me to have the full series before I proceed. Look, I actually need to leave the house now, and I could continue to talk about how beautiful this book is, but we gotta wrap this up. So I guess it's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you happen to stay to the end of the video, leave me the green heart emoji because the last book was green and it was a very beautiful book. And if you happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And also, I have social medias. I'm at author Gianna Jones on TikTok and Instagram if you want to follow me there for some more bookish content. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.